Hello guys, it's Derek Tapoma here. Today I want to ask this question: is gaming driving our children nuts? Now there is a report from the World Health Organization, and it's a report which came out a few days ago, so I'm just going to go through this just so that we have context in what I want us to discuss today. So it says, what is gaming disorder? Let me see if I can make this bigger. So what is gaming disorder? Let's see, I've made that bigger. So gaming disorder, I'll just remove the overlays here so that I can read properly. So gaming disorder is defined in the draft 11th revision of the International Classification of Diseases, ICD-11, as a pattern of gaming behavior, digital gaming or video gaming, characterized by impaired control over gaming, increasing priority given to gaming over other activities to the extent that gaming takes precedence over other interests and daily activities, and continuation or escalation of gaming despite the occurrence of negative consequences. So this is a loaded definition because it talks about a pattern of gaming behavior, which is mainly digital gaming or video gaming, which is characterized by impaired control over gaming. So the child or the adult who is playing this now has impaired control over the gaming, increasing priority. So they are prioritizing this gaming over other activities, which activities may actually be more beneficial to their day-to-day lives than the actual gaming itself. So to the extent that gaming takes precedence over other interests and daily activities, and continuation or escalation of gaming despite the occurrence of negative consequences. So even if it's affecting their social life, okay, or it's affecting the way that they interact with other people and the way that they look after themselves in terms of their physical and mental health, it is not a problem which they will continue to play the game instead of trying to control this gaming tendency or this gaming behavior. So for gaming disorder to be diagnosed, so it's actually diagnosed, the behavior pattern must be of sufficient severity to result in significant impairment in personal, family, social, educational, occupational, or other important areas of functioning, and would normally have been evident for at least 12 months. Okay, so you really have a long time in which you can observe your child, and I'm speaking specifically to parents for this because we used to play games, but we had to travel all the way to the shops, to play slug. We had to travel all the way to play flipper or other games, okay? And we had board games as well in the house. We used to play draft, a bit of chess. So we had these board games, cards, okay? So they were more of social games than, of course, even the games now are social, but it's not, they're being social not with the family, they're being social with people across the world. So I think we've got to think about what are the benefits of playing games? What are the benefits of gaming? I know that this is a negative in terms of if the behavior becomes so much that it affects other activities which they could be carrying out during the day, which have to do with their family, obviously. But what if we try to understand exactly how gaming can actually benefit our children instead of just looking at the negative impact? But we cannot ignore this report because this is a report which has been a result of consultation of empirical evidence obtained over the years by the World Health Organization and their partners, and they've come up with this. So it has to have been around for 12 months. Okay. And why is gaming behavior or disorder being included in ICD-11? You can go ahead and read about that. But should all people who engage in gaming be concerned about developing gaming disorder? So studies suggest that gaming disorder affects only a small proportion of people. Let me remove that comment section. I'm going to have to put it back later. Who engage in digital or video gaming activities. However, people who partake in gaming should be alert to the amount of time they spend on gaming activities, particularly when it is to the exclusion of other daily activities, as well as to any changes in their physical or psychological health and social functioning that could be attributed to the pattern of gaming behavior. So it's a loaded statement. The World Health Organization have done their homework, so it's up to us now to think about and also to consider the science behind this, because I don't think that we can become a society which ignores scientific evidence and scientific points of view. I think we've got to look at it and see if there is evidence of what they are talking about. And I'm sure you've got children who play games, and you may have seen some of these effects, some of these disorders, in the kids. Not that they have become full-blown mental health patients, no, but I think we need to be mindful of how gaming and screen time, the amount of time they're spending on games, may be affecting them. Okay. Let me just bring back the comment section, because I'm really interested in what you have to say, what your comments are concerning this. So I've got a Windows option here to bring, let me see, I need to bring the overlays, the comments and reactions. So I'm just waiting for comments here to see what you guys think. Is gaming driving our children nuts? Are our children spending too much time playing games? Is it affecting them? Should we be concerned? Can this lead to a mental health condition? What do you think? Have you seen evidence of this happening? Have you seen evidence of mental health development? I saw a documentary once where a couple was looking after a baby in a video game. So in a video game, they were looking after a baby, but their own physical baby in the house actually died of starvation, because these parents did not have time for the physical baby, their own physical baby in the house. I think this was in Japan or South Korea. They neglected their own physical child, and they were looking after this little girl in a video game, and their own child actually died because they neglected their own child. Okay, they did not have the time to look after their own baby. So these are some of the extreme cases of the effects of video gaming. Whereas at the same time, video gaming, the nature of video gaming is such that the game itself allows the person to continue playing the game. So imagine if we could come up with a game which can actually help our children with their schoolwork. Okay. So education for me, or developers in education, I think they are being a bit slow in terms of can they come up with applications in education, okay, gaming applications in education. I think we've seen a few examples. I think one of them, I can't remember the name of it, but there've been a few examples, but they don't go blockbuster. They don't go big. Okay, and the reason they don't go big is because developers in education have been very slow. But basically, the gaming theory is such that it's something that we actually take part in without realizing it. So if you go to Morrison's shopping, for example, and they give you a card, and that card, every time you buy something, or you buy fuel, or you buy groceries from Morrison's, you present the card, and then the card, they swipe the card, and you get points for every purchase that you're making. And then those points eventually add up, and when they get to something like 5,000, you're given a £5 voucher, and you go and you spend that £5 in Morrison's, of course. You cannot spend it anywhere else, so it's not transferable to any other. But if you think about it, they are not really losing money. They are probably getting more money than what they are giving you. So I don't think that as a shop they are actually making a loss, or they are losing money by giving you those points and giving you that £5. You probably pay for it, but the idea that you're actually getting something from them is something which is part of game theory. So it's something which incentivizes you to continue going to that shop and to continue buying from that shop. Okay, so the game theory is applied, actually is taken from gaming, and gaming is doing exactly that. There is no way that a gaming company is going to make a video game, and then that video game, they are going to discourage people playing it. So they want to encourage you to play it. It's just like social media, just like Facebook, just like YouTube. Once you become addicted to it. And by the way, if you're actually doing some work on it on social media, because I'm going to be talking more about this, because there are things that we can do on social media which can help us to actually get benefit out of it, okay, more than, okay, which is different from just becoming consumers of the content. So when we become just consumers of the content, of course it feels like a waste of time, but there is a whole economy which is functioning, okay, on the internet before we even start talking about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is another layer on top of the internet where an economic model is building up, okay? But before we can even understand Bitcoin, let's look at the internet. Let's look at the physical world first of all. Where the physical world, we had transactions taking place, but these transactions, some of them have moved onto the internet. So we've got this new layer on the internet, and Facebook and these video games, they are part of that. So there's a whole economy taking place. So whoever is playing the video game is actually participating in an economy. So the idea is, how do we tap into that economy? Okay, instead of just thinking, oh, these video games are driving our children nuts, they have to stop playing them. Some of those skills in video gaming, in fact, the Americans, they use video gamers, they employ video gamers to, and some of those people that you call hackers, they are eventually employed by the US government, okay, to work in the IT departments and stuff like that. And so I don't want us to just look at the negative effects of some of these things like video gaming and stuff like that. We've got to start thinking more critically and see if we can actually take advantage of some of these instead of just becoming concerned. Okay, instead of just becoming concerned, we can actually also look at what the advantages are. Okay, there is another article here. This one here, you can also read this. In fact, if you just Google, okay, all you need to do here, let me just show you. It's so easy. Gaming addiction. You just say gaming addiction, okay, Let's type that in. Gaming addiction, just AD, so it comes up. Gaming, I don't want accessories, I'm looking for addiction. So if you just type in gaming addiction, you will find that there is quite a lot of news here of what's been happening. So World Health Organization says video game addiction is a disease. Okay, so this is how they've the LA Times have framed it. Video game addiction is a mental health disorder, says so of course they have to come up with but the World Health Organization said called it a gaming disorder. They did not call it a mental health condition. They called it a gaming disorder, not a mental health disorder. So they've substituted gaming with mental health. Okay, who classifies gaming disorder as a mental health condition? But is the move premature? Who classifies gaming disorder as a mental health condition? It consumed my life inside the gaming addiction center. Gaming addiction classified as a disorder by the World Health Organization, BBC News. Okay, so the whole front page, and I'm sure you can, even if you go to page 10, I'm sure there's going to be gaming addiction, gaming engagement, and psychological health. Okay, so there is a lot. But the point here is that when you're playing a game, okay, your brain is producing some chemicals, and these chemicals are helping you to enjoy the game. Otherwise, we would not enjoy the game. So the reason we enjoy games and the reason we enjoy music, for example, is because certain chemicals are being produced, okay? And I think they're called neurotransmitters. So this dopamine chemical is helping those neurotransmitters to relay messages, okay, to the pleasure centers of the brain. And when these messages go to the pleasure centers of the brain, then we experience the joy that we experience when we listen to music or when we listen to good poetry and stuff like that. So gaming is also, and social media for that matter, they are tapping into this. This dopamine, this ability of the brain to rewire itself or to create neural pathways and enable neurotransmitters to transmit messages to the parts of the brain, the pleasure centers of the brain, which make us enjoy the game, okay, or enjoy music, or enjoy, I think, even food. I'm not sure. I think even food for that matter. Okay. So this is just what I wanted to talk about, guys. There is comments section there. Ask any questions. Put your comments there. Let me know if I said something and you disagree with it. Let me know what you disagree with, and then I will see you in the next video. By the way, if you want to join me on any of these live streams, I'm using a software called, let me just find, it's called Ecam Live, but I just want to overlay scenes. Let's see, scenes, overlays, right. So where is Ecam? I had Ecam here yesterday there were so many comments. Hang on. So there is Ecam. Okay, so that is the platform that I'm using. So what it enables you to do, or what it enables me to do, is to invite as many as 5 people, and for you to join me there, instead of going through Facebook, you actually go through Skype. So there is my Skype address. So if you want to join me on this, you just need to request my friendship on Skype using that address, Derek.Former. Once I have accepted you, then I can call you in, and this is what it's going to look like. You're going to appear there on a Skype call, and I'm going to appear here. In fact, what's going to happen is that you and me are going to appear side by side. Of course, if you're using your video, then you're going to appear there as a video. Okay, so if I do that, we'll both appear in the corner here. So it's not a problem at all. Okay, I can invite up to 4 people, so we can be 5 or 6. I think up to 5 people. So we can be 6 and discuss this live on Facebook, and then I can hear your contributions, and then we can argue, we can agree and disagree. Okay, so if you request me on Skype, you'll be able to join me. You just let me know if you want to join, and then in the comments, and then I'll be able to add you. Okay, so thank you for watching. If you're watching this later on, just leave the comments. I'll try to respond to all the comments that come. My following is not yet that big, so I've got the time to respond to every comment. Okay, thank you for watching. I'm gonna make this end right now. Goodbye.